Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Revamped Founder. Today we have Jannis Betschki joining us. So, without any further delay, let's get started. Enjoy. So, hey Jannis, how are you?
Hi, Advik. Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine.
That's so good
So
to
can
hear.
you just say?
I just said that's very good to hear that you're also fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you give a little introduction of yourself, like to
Yeah,
the
of
viewers?
course. Of course. So, my name is Jannis. I'm originally from Austria. Now I live here in Berlin in Germany. And yeah, I kind of, I kind of stumbled into like software development through many career changes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably the poster boy for generalists. So I've done everything and nothing at the same time. No, like I've done a lot of different things. So I started,
Yeah,
my career a few years ago in customer support. Um, then
yeah.
built my own customer service team.
Mm-hmm.
Figured out I need lots of things to automate my workflow with a small team. And this is kind of
Uh-huh.
how I stumbled into software development. And yeah, now yeah, I have a day job. I build internal tools for different companies.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, like half a year ago or so, I started being more active on Twitter and built an audience there. And yeah, like a platform called Tools for Creators, where, well, how the name
Yeah.
already says, creators can find tools for their daily work. And yeah, now I'm actually working on a new project to help people with the websites.
Yeah. Actually, I was particularly interested in tools for creators.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah, what do you want to know?
like it's a pretty, like, I think, complex project. Have you done it all by yourself?
I've done that
From the
all by myself, yes.
Yeah,
Well, to be fair, with the help of the community. So
yeah,
I've coded it all. It's basically a React project on the
yeah.
Gatsby framework.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had lots of help from the community in the making. So with getting feedback with actually all of the tools that are there. I think like 80-90% of those are community
Uh-huh.
submitted as well, or from the tool creators themselves that
Mm-hmm.
who have submitted them. But the building process and the coding process, design process, and so on, that's all. That was just me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how much time did it take you to like make this tool for creators?
Cool. So it was actually a project for a course. So there is the course, the Build in Public Mastery by
Yeah.
Kevon, if you know
Mm-hmm.
him.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I know.
he always runs those cohorts in for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is that the participants, have a project that they build in those 3 weeks. And usually it's something smaller. So Kevon actively encourages the participants
Mm-hmm.
to do something small and, launch a small email course, develop like a new aspect, like a new feature or something for your product. But he always says, don't go crazy and
Mm-hmm.
don't do a full product in those 3 weeks. Well,
Yeah.
story is I didn't listen to him and I built the majority of what you see now in 3 weeks. So
Oh.
from beginning to finish, it was like 21 days. I then added another week afterwards for some refinement, for some marketing, and so on. And then a few features
Mm-hmm.
were added later on, like over the course of the last 3 months, basically. But the structure and the major functionality and everything, together with the backend, that's just an Airtable
Mm-hmm.
database, basically. That was all done in 3 weeks.
That's pretty good actually. That's very quick. So like the
Yeah, it
tools are not
was.
hard coded. So can you what
Yeah,
did you say?
sorry, what did you ask?
I said the tools are not hard coded in the site, so it can be uploaded or removed by the
Uh,
community.
Yeah, it's basically, so there is, the tool submission function where everybody can submit tools. And that
Yeah.
then runs a small script that pushes them into an Airtable database that I've set up.
Yeah.
Within the Airtable database, there are lots of automations that do different things. So on the one hand, I get an email when somebody submits a new tool. I then log into Airtable, look at the tool itself. So I have lots of submissions as well from tools or companies that where I just say that's not really a tool for a creator. Like a creator does not need a tool that helps you design an API, for example. That is something for a site that's maybe called tools for developers, but not for tools for
Yeah.
creators. So I then need
Yeah.
to approve the tool, which triggers another automation that pulls lots of different information from the tool website itself. So people always need to submit a URL, so a domain basically.
Yeah.
And the automation in Airtable pulls a screenshot, for example. It takes a small description from the website, or it basically parses the text itself that's on the website, then sends it to an open API KI or AI tool basically, and like generates all of the things. So I would say 70 to 80% of the process of how to get a tool online or to get a tool onto tools for creators is actually automated.
Yeah. That's good. The more you automate things, the better it gets, actually.
Yeah,
Right.
the problem is with that. That's the 20 to 30% that are not automated yet. Those are the most annoying parts. So I still need to get back on and do the rest of that.
Yeah. So like, what are the most popular tools on the platform?
What are the what tools? Sorry?
Most popular tools.
The most popular tools. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
I mean, tools for creators, and the very bottom of the page, there's a link that's called that says open, and it should actually go to a Plausible page. So Plausible is the analytics tool I'm using, and let's just have a look there. Let's set that to all time, and then look at the top pages that we have here. And well, lots of people look at the categories, and the top tool that we have here from all time is Tiny Kiwi.
Oh, all right.
That's the tool with the top hits so far. That's done by my friend Yossi. He's also building that on public on Twitter. And that doesn't surprise me that his tool is the most popular so far.
Yeah, it's a pretty good tool actually.
It is. I use it for most of, for all of the screenshots I have on Twitter, and also for lots of different graphics, like the open graph images on tools for creators, for example, and stuff like that.
All right. So like, what do you get from? Where do you get most of your traffic? From Twitter or SEO?
Yeah. So see, the thing is, tools for creators is basically a typical programmatic SEO page, right? But like SEO takes time. So to be fair, I'm also not doing too much with it for the last 1 or 2 months or so. So right now, the top traffic source is indeed Twitter, because people also share the site, share the links, and so on. And then there were recently somebody mentioned tools for creators in the newsletter. So I have lots of in the last week or so, lots of traffic came from that side as well, from that one newsletter. That is unfortunately from a Taiwanese creator, so I can't read the newsletter, but I found it on Substack. And then the other traffic sources, and that's also something that I can definitely recommend to other creators and founders as well, is a website called 10 Words, which is a website where, well, you can publish or you can post your tool. and describe it in up to 10 words. And then every day there are new tools that are getting sent out to people who want to find new tools. So it's kind of similar to Tools for Creators, like a platform that collects tools. And yeah, like I submitted my tool over there, and they featured it on the front page on one day, and still getting some clicks from there as well every couple of days.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah. So have you like monetized it yet, or are you planning to or something?
Yes. So there are basically two monetization parts with Tools for Creators right now. So the one is website audits. So I'm doing website audits for for tools, for SaaS tools, for SaaS websites, because I do have a background in web design. I have a background in web development, web design, basically. So I'm offering that service. That is $60. So compared to other website audits out there, pretty affordable. And I always pack a lot of values into that for the people who book that as well. So that, to be fair, that has been the biggest monetization source so far. So I had a couple of bookings there, and making them $60 each. You get a little bit of income from that. But the main, what would, like a website like Tools for Creators, which is a directory with lots of data. The main source of income is, with it, at least the goal to have for the main source of income is always affiliate links. So the goal is not to pack everything full of affiliate links. But if there are tools where I know that they have affiliate programs, then I do sign up for those and put the affiliate links into the different tool pages. But all of those are actually clearly marked. So one example of that would be Blackmagic, the Twitter automation tool, or the Twitter analytics tool. And it has for example, it has a deal there where people can get $10 off any plan. And it's also marked with an asterisk. And so there's always disclosure there. If it's an affiliate link, people are going to know, because I want to be transparent about that. I want people to, to see it is an affiliate link. I am going to make some money if you click that. But I want to be as transparent as possible with that.
Yeah, being transparent is a good thing. Like, as an indie hacker.
Definitely. And, I think it's different if, if you tell people about it, nobody's going to say, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that. You should not make money off of the website that you do. You should not make money off the information you have pulled together. But if you don't disclose that, if you just replace every single link with an affiliate link, it's just a little bit sketchy, And also, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a lawyer, but I am pretty sure that in Germany, where my business, for example, is registered, you also legally have to disclose it. Like if you get a commission, or if you get like some money for recommending something or something like that, then I'm like 80% sure, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that in Germany, I legally have to disclose it as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess in Germany and the EU in general, the European Union, it is like the rules are pretty strong actually for the digital rules, actually, what you can and can't.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, we have stuff like that you need to disclose, that you get affiliate deals and so on. On the other hand, if you go to the bottom of Tools for Creators, there's like a link that's called legal. And there's actually the German Telemedia Act, which defines what information a German or a website run by a German business needs to have on there. So I hope people will not go there now and all look for that, but my full address needs to be there and stuff like that. Contact information needs to be there. But yeah, on a European level, we do have the GDPR, so the General
Yeah,
Data Privacy Legislation, um,
yeah,
causing some headaches for sketchy businesses, I would say. But from my perspective,
yeah,
I do believe in a strong privacy legislation, and
yeah,
I always say if you work or if you run your website correctly, then you have nothing to fear. It is a bit annoying
yeah,
for
absolutely.
for people running websites, but it is what it is. And
Yeah,
the recent years with the like Facebook scandals and everything have shown
yeah,
us
yeah,
that it is necessary to have that, unfortunately.
yeah. It might bug some like creators and some, but it's
Yeah.
for the protection of citizens, I guess.
Yeah, I always see two sides of that. So as a business owner, as somebody running a website, it 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 means I need to do some extra steps. But as a private citizen, so to say, as somebody who just wants to enjoy their life, I always appreciate when a website or a service or a product or whatever it is takes that extra step and actually um, make sure that it uses tools or like different services that are aware of privacy laws, that are
Hmm.
acknowledging them, instead of just widely sending information to Facebook and so on. So this is what I
Yeah,
hate when, like, same as with the affiliate links. Basically, if somebody doesn't disclose what you're doing with your data, that's when I get worried.
yeah. That's a pretty bad thing if you don't disclose it.
Yeah.
So, like, do you run marketing ads for tools for creators?
No, not at all. Like I mean, I had a conversation with my friend Arvind on Twitter a few days ago,
Mm-hmm.
because he was sharing how he updates his MRR on his profile on Twitter, like his monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, And I said, well, in my case, if I do that with tools for creators, it would actually be a negative MRR right now because I'm already spending money on tools basically that I need to run the website, or it costs me to run the website. So I'm like right now about minus $30 to $40 in the negative every month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm trying to keep it at a minimum. So the website isn't making too much money right now. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean, I like it can sustain itself. Let's put it this way, but it's not making money. And I
yeah.
don't think that running ads would actually change that. Like it would, it would cost me something to run those ads. And I don't think that the return on that would be very big because I see that, or like a very small fraction of the tools that are on there are actually affiliate links. I think it's about 10-15% or so.
Yeah.
Um, and they're not the most popular tools. Like they are, in some cases, some very niche tools. And
Mm-hmm.
the way to run ads would actually mean to compete against those tools. So, to like, it wouldn't make sense to run ads on a free tool, for example, but I'd need
Yeah.
to run it on, let's say, Black Magic. Let's stick with that example. I need to run ads that are targeting Black Magic on
Yeah.
Google, for example. Somebody Googles Black Magic Twitter tool, and I would bid on those keywords.
Yeah.
Um, and that will piss Tony, who's running Black Magic, off
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
um, so like I don't think running ads for a website like that is a very good way to make money, or to like a very good way to invest the revenue that you get.
Mm-hmm.
And I much rather prefer to to talk to people, to invest the time in talking to people, and recommending the tools on Twitter, for example,
Yeah.
and also to slowly but steadily just build the SEO presence and the authority that it has. And there
Yeah.
are some keywords, for example, like the tool, what is it? Type Typefully, for example. That's a good
Yeah.
example.
Thankfully.
Or the tool Typefully,
Mm-hmm.
like it's very hard to find pricing, for example. They don't have it on the website. So people
Yeah.
Google Typefully pricing, and in some markets, it was like in Germany and in the UK, I think, tools
Mm-hmm.
for creators managed to already get on the first page of Google because we have on tools for creators, we have the pricing very, very transparently there. because I figured it out. It's very hidden on
Yeah.
a Typefully website, but they do have a pricing, and it is there, and it is actually pretty up to date. So this is,
Yeah.
I think what makes more sense than running ads in this case.
Yeah. That's a pretty good reason, actually.
Yeah.
So, like, coming back to the transparency thing, I came across a tweet on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It said that once you cross 1 million ARR,
Mm-hmm.
then you should like reduce the transparency or just stop it. I don't remember particularly. So, what are your thoughts on that?
That's interesting. I think I saw the same tweet as well.
Yeah.
I'm honestly not too sure about it. Like, building in public, or let's put it this way. So building in public, does not mean that I'm sharing everything in the open. Like,
Yeah.
there are aspects of tools for creators and also about my new projects where I help people with the websites that are public, where I share my decisions, where I share how things are going, how I'm building them. But there are also certain aspects that I'm not sharing. Like I am not sharing the code for tools for creators in public. Like the Git
Yeah.
repository for that is private for a reason, because it has,
It's not an
yeah,
open source project.
exactly. It's not an open source project. I'm building in public, and I'm very open also with the with linking to the plausible page with the analytics. I'm very open, but for example, the entire backend, the Airtable database, that's off limits. Same as the code itself, that's off limits. Nobody will ever see that because I believe that there is value in it. And I'm not sure what to do with that website. If I want to sell that in the future, who knows? Like maybe I need it to be private then. And I think it's the same with revenue. I don't think there's the magic number of €1 million or $1 million where you then start to need to be more private. If you want to be public about certain things, then do that. And in the end, let's say established companies are doing the same thing. K1 actually has a pretty good example of that. There is a jacket brand on Instagram.
Yeah.
Maybe I can send you the link to that later because I need to look it up in our conversations. But there is a jacket brand on Instagram, and they are, multi-million-dollar company on international markets and everything, and they're building in public. They're not sharing the revenue numbers. They're not sharing how many employees they have, etc., etc. But they're building in public in the sense that they're creating a new jacket, and they're asking the audience, which is on Instagram in this case, what colors they would prefer. So they say, we already have a white jacket, we already have a black jacket. Now there's a third option. Which one do you want? And they include the community in that. And if we stick to that tweet, like if you make $1 million or €1 million, then you need to be more private about that. Then you could also say, well, that jacket brand, if they cross $1 million, euros or whatever in revenue, then they should be able to make decisions themselves. They should, make those decisions behind closed doors. But actually, I think all of those things are just ways to engage your community as well, and to make sure that you're building in the right direction. And that doesn't change based on the fact that you make more money or not.
Yeah. Like the number one thing for any company or any is the user or the consumer in the jacket case.
Yeah, exactly. And it also works for, a big companies like, I don't know any jacket brands, but a big company that is, like Adidas, for example, this sports brand. They make millions and billions in designing their own jackets how they think it's correct, and people buy it. So it works for them. But if you go out as a company or as a brand and you say you're community driven, you build with the community, your product is something for the community, then you also need to be able to share certain things above the €1 million threshold, because it's part of your brand. And there's a very good example of that in a shoe company called Allbirds from New Zealand. They created their shoes basically from the ground up with the community in mind, and developed their shoes with the people who are actually wearing them afterwards. They're direct to consumer brand, and now they're making billions. They have stores all over the world, and it would be very, I think, like it wouldn't be too good for their brand if all of a sudden they stopped showing that or stopped engaging with the community. Like they have a store in Berlin, for example, and I know if I have problems with my shoes, I can always go to the store and there will be a very helpful person there who would have a look and tell me what to do or what not to do. Just because they make billions of dollars now doesn't mean that they shut that down, because it's part of the brand.
Yeah. So like what I think that it's easier to build in public if you're not a VC funded or a company which has investors on the board.
Yeah, so that's true. That's true, because you know when external money comes in, you always have restrictions. But
yeah,
there are also great venture capital funded companies that are building in public. So like the shoe company Allbirds, like I wouldn't say they're like building in public like we are on Twitter, but they are they are VC funded. They are actually, I think, on like a publicly traded company now. But they still keep the mentality that they had in the very beginning. And obviously it's different now. So in the beginning, I remember listening to a podcast with the two founders like 4 or 5 years ago when they started. And it was very down to earth, where they, like developed the shoes with the customers and stuff like that. And now it's a little bit different, of course, because they have 20 or something stores all over the world. They have hundreds, if not thousands, of employees. So you obviously don't get the relationship between the CEO and the customer anymore. But you still have that mentality in there, and they are a very down to earth brand. And so it's harder if you're VC funded, of course, but I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah, it's pretty hard actually, because you have a lot of restrictions, and basically you have to listen to the investors. You can't do everything that you wish to do.
Yeah, that's also where, as a founder, you need to always think whether it's worth that, whether it's worth taking the money for losing control or not. And I know, like for me personally, it would not be, but everybody needs to make that decision on their own.
But there's certain like companies which can't run without VC money.
Yeah, that's true. That's also the kind of company I don't want to run, so it's good.
Yeah. Like they pick up Series G and different round, but like then it's up to the founder.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like the last part, like I would say, what message would you like to give to the young creators and the young builders that are just starting out?
It's so funny because I still see myself like that.
Yeah. No, younger than you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm mentoring right now in Kiran's current Build in Public Mastery course. And so I'm actually in touch with a lot of people just starting out on that journey as creators, as builders, so to say. And the one thing I always tell them, and that I hope people also see from my presence on Twitter and so on, is that the thing that will pay off the most is if you're transparent and curious. The transparency you need, because I mean it is in the end what the build in public mentality is a little bit about. And curiosity is key if you want to build a successful anything, basically. Like it doesn't have to be a product or a business. Like even if you just want to build a service, for example, or if you just want to learn for yourself, if you stay curious, you always have something to explore. and that will get you far in life, I believe. I mean, I'm 26 years old, so that might also sound like a lot of bullshit now, but so far, staying curious and being curious has brought me a long way.
Yeah. And no matter how old someone is, I believe that if they're curious, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it from my side. I really enjoyed this conversation. Anything you
Yeah,
would like to say?
same. No, I really enjoyed this, Advik, and I really hope that your podcast goes through the roof.
Yeah.
And yeah, like if there's anything I can help you with, or I can help any of the listeners with, then just hit me up on Twitter and let me know.
Yeah, sure. So thank you. That
Thank you as well.